Oregon won the toss. They want the ball. Conrad Ukropina. And we are underway from Stanford. Josh Huff doesn't make it back to the 20, so the Ducks will be backed up inside their own 20 as they take the ball for the first time tonight. When the Ducks have the ball, here are the impact players. Byron Marshall gets a start at running back. He has 5 straight 100-yard games. Josh Huff, you just saw return the kick, will also be involved in the option game and the passing game. Trent Murphy, as good a pass rusher as there is in the country. Shane Scove, a tough-minded, hard-nosed tackler that leads the Cardinal in stops. Mariota's going to throw it on the first play. Marcus gets it to the outside. It is incomplete. He was looking for Braylon Addison. Here is the Heisman Trophy contender, Marcus Mariota. He's a 6'4", 211-pound redshirt sophomore who has put together brilliant numbers this year. 20 touchdowns, no interceptions. As David mentioned in the open, the last time he was picked off, A.J. Tarpley of Stanford got him in this matchup last year. Mariota's second pass is complete. Huff has it. Huff is close to a first down. Going to mark him just short, I believe. It's going to be third down coming up.
Oregon has to be much more physical than they were a year ago in this game. This is the biggest, most physical front seven they've played. And outside last year, the receivers got beat up, already trying to make a statement here, downfield blocking.
The official gave him another step, so it will be a first down for the Ducks. Mariota has it batted down, and Shane Scove was the guy coming in to get a hand on it.
And Scove's going to be all over the place. You've seen him blitz a couple times already tonight. Watch him come off the edge, make Mariota make a quick decision. You see it so often, Mariota making decisions, getting the ball out in the flat. Scove did a good job. He took away the pass right away.
Second and 10. Shovel pass to Anthony Thomas, who hasn't played much in the last several games due to an ankle. Alex Carter making the stop. Third down coming up for the Ducks. There is first-year head coach Mark Helfrich, just turned 40 years old. He's an Oregon native. When he was introduced to replace Chip Kelly after Kelly went to the Eagles, he said, "Oregon is the pinnacle for me." He's gotten off to a great start. Former offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for the Ducks under Kelly. On third down, Mariota firing. See what the officials say. They're going to talk it over, and it's going to be a catch. First down, Ducks. Anthony Thomas making the grab.
Guys, tonight, Stanford's defense is going to challenge Marcus Mariota with a lot of man coverage and force him to be accurate. A lot of defenses this year have not done that. Mariota doing a nice job there.
Back to the ground with Marshall. And a third down conversion on that last play, which was a rarity last year. The Ducks were held to 4 of 17 on third down by the Cardinal D.
And a third down and 10, which wasn't a rarity. Last year, a lot of third and long situations. They consistently got Oregon behind the sticks.
Ball just across the 50 into Stanford territory. Mariota, quick slant, complete. Braylon Addison making the catch. He has enough for another first down for the Ducks, and Oregon's on the mark.
I just think the biggest difference in Marcus Mariota's development this year has been how quickly he's making decisions. Receivers barely out of their breaks before the football is in the air.
Let me correct myself again. I thought they had spotted him across the yellow line, said his knee went down just short of it. So a third down coming. Marshall and Thomas in the backfield.
Ball start.
Ball start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Our referee tonight, Jay Strickers. Cameron Hunt getting the start tonight as Oregon has shuffled that offensive line. Hunt a little anxious. Now Helfrich's team looking at 3rd and 6.
True freshman going against the big boys on the inside. Get a little anxious.
Guys, how about on that last third down? Stanford played man-to-man in this critical situation. Will they do it again?
Mariota reloaded. Now he's got a man out there wide open. The throw is a little short, but Josh Huff couldn't quite come back to it. It's incomplete. And if he laid it out just a little farther, the Ducks would have had a touchdown.
That is a rare deep miss for Marcus Mariota. That time Stanford was showing pressure. They bailed out into a big zone coverage, and Josh Huff able to get behind the secondary. It's a throw Marcus Mariota's been making all season long. Huff's been his best deep threat. It's a rare miss early and costly for Oregon.
The false start penalty followed by the missed opportunity, leading the Ducks to punt it away. Cody Whitfield calling for the fair catch just across his own 5-yard line, and Stanford will not have strong field position to start this, but Cardinal, they don't really mind that. They want to grind on you. They want to pound on you, and they'll do it with the impact players when they have the ball. Tyler Gaffney at running back after a year sabbatical from football in which he played outfield in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. Ty Montgomery has emerged as the guy in the passing game. Derek Malone, Avery Patterson, a couple of impact players on the Oregon defense, which has been terrific at limiting big plays this year. Full house backfield. Gaffney will get it. Short gain over the left side on first down. Second down coming up for Kevin Hogan. Kevin Hogan, a 6'4", 220-pound junior from McLean, Virginia. Hasn't been as good over the last 4 games as he was earlier this season, but overall, 13 touchdown passes, only 5 interceptions. Against ranked opponents, he's 8-0. His only loss is starting quarterback in his career earlier this season against Utah. Big heavy package as Gaffney has it for the second time. Picks up 1 or so. It'll be third down and long coming up.
Guys, there is no mystery. Stanford wants to play in a phone booth. You look at all this right here.
That's called beef.
Big bodies up front. They call that their monster package. And right here, just trying to run downhill. They're going to wear you down. Those body blows that go for 1- and 2-yard gains, those pay dividends for this offense late in games. They turn into 8-, 9-, 10-yard gains.
First third down facing the Cardinal tonight. Hogan, great protection, fires it to the outside, but can't quite hook up with his intended receiver, Ty Montgomery, so it'll be fourth down. Terrence Mitchell had good coverage.
And as much as we talk about Oregon last year on third downs, this is where Stanford has really struggled this season. Hogan had an opportunity to make a little bit more accurate throw. We've seen the struggles with him in the passing game. One thing you can be rest assured, he'll find number 7. That's the most explosive player on this offense.
Ben Ryan between the N and the F. Not a comfortable position for a punter in his own end zone. Ryan drives Braylon Addison just inside the 50, and Addison's got an alley. Braylon Addison inside the 30-yard line, and the Ducks are set up. Terrific return by one of the Oregon receivers with great speed, a 25-yard return. And this is not the type of field position you want to give the Ducks offense.
No, if you're Stanford all night, guys, you have to maintain possession and convert first downs. You cannot give the football right back to an explosive offense like Oregon from deep in your own end. You got to find a way to stay on the field because they've got way too many good players in space, especially guys like Braylon Addison.
How about Ryan, the punter, getting involved?
Well, Reese, honestly, he punted that too far before anybody could get down there, so he really needed to make that play to make up for it.
We're getting a little more hang time. To the ground with Marshall. Hit once, broke a tackle, bouncing to the outside, and Alex Carter gets him on the ground. Didn't see much of the yards after contact last year, but Carter's sure on the edge once Marshall bounced it out.
And they believe he's the most talented cornerback they've had in a long time. But here's an example, guys, of great tackling in space. You'd be scared to death with a guy like Byron Marshall outside one-on-one.
Looking for the outside, and outside is not where you're going to go against Shane Skove. He makes the tackle on Marshall as he couldn't get to the edge. Third down coming.
When you watch Stanford on defense, you're so impressed with the eyes, but watch Skove in the middle. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but look at him take a perfect angle to get that play on the outside. Oregon struggled in the outside zone a year ago. That's their bread and butter. They got to get that going against Stanford.
Mariota directing a little traffic, throwing back into the middle, and he's got his man. Mariota finds Keenan Lowe. First down for the Ducks.
That's uncoachable. That's also very ill-advised. Stanford tonight so far has done a very good job getting Marcus Mariota off of his drop-back position. He's had to scramble. He's had to move around. That's just an unbelievable throw across his body.
Not only did he throw that across his body, he literally led the guy away from the defender, too. That was as an impressive a throw as you're going to see.
Mariota picking up 19 on 3rd and 8. Now it's 1st and goal. Marshall plunges ahead down to the 5. And while we're raving about the Mariota throw, it's a pretty good grab, too, by Keenan Lowe.
And he needs to play well, guys. He did have a touchdown catch last year, but he was very poor in this game blocking. Redemption.
Marshall hurdling, picks up maybe 1. Trying to pull him back the other way was Kevin Anderson, number 48.
And this is, you're okay with yards with Oregon. You're going to give up yards, but this is where the field shrinks down for Stanford, and they know they have an advantage. Can Oregon get physical enough and pound it in the red zone area, especially inside the 10?
3rd down and goal. Mariota reloads to the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. It'll be 4th down and goal. Looking for a flag in the back of the end zone was Braylon Addison. None forthcoming. Now Oregon has had issues with field goal kicking. It was a field goal last year that was missed in overtime that led to Stanford having the opportunity to kick the game winner. Alejandro Maldonado and Matt Logan have split the field goal duties. But Helfrich told us this week that if he felt like he had a 4th down play that was going to work, he'd leave the offense out there, and that's what he's doing here in the 1st quarter. 4th and goal.
One-on-one at the bottom of the screen with Braylon Addison.
Blitz coming. Skov is picked up nicely. Throwing toward Addison, and he couldn't get there. Incomplete, in the Cardinal defense. Wayne Lyons on the coverage, and they rise up. Stanford withstands the first big test. Long return on the punt goes for naught as Lyons is able to stay close enough to Addison. Scoreless halfway through the 1st.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
A lot of big fellas on the field. Stanford stuck deep in its own end for the 2nd consecutive possession. Tyler Gaffney spins his way forward to give them a little breathing room.
Talk about how physical Stanford's front 7 is on defense. What about Oregon this year, though? Very good on the D-line, tremendous depth. You'll see guys like Wade Keelekepi, Taylor Hart right there, Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner. You see number 44. These guys rotate in and out, but they are solid at the point of attack.
Easily the best defensive line that the Chip Kelly era now moving forward in the Mark Helfrich era. Big, strong guys with good length.
Gaffney. Not much over the left side. 3rd down coming. David Shaw in his 3rd year as the Bradford M. Freeman Director of Football. That's the technical term here at Stanford as the head coach.
Oh, I thought so he doesn't call plays. That's the head coaching name?
Oh, he calls plenty of ball plays. And he is directing football quite nicely. 30-5, 3 BCS bids. Twice he has been coach of the year. This Stanford team with some key wins and a tough schedule, and of course the 1 loss on the road at Utah. 3rd down. Gaffney. Gaffney across the 15, and Stanford will move the chains.
I think Tyler Gaffney was a really nice find for them in free agency this past year. Remember they lose him to baseball? He goes away, and he's really solidified that backfield. He's not a home run threat by any stretch, but dependable, where he's supposed to be all the time. He's a guy that you'll see get the football a lot.
And what I love about him, David, he's that tough runner. Yeah. He's north-south, and at 6'1", 226 pounds, he's the kind of guy that can wear a defense down. They got to feed him early and often.
Gaffney is taking a break. Barry J. Sanders, the son of the great Barry Sanders, set up for a screen. Hogan had to get rid of it, looking for Montgomery. Applying the pressure was Derek Malone. 2nd and 10 coming.
Oregon's defense does not respect Stanford's ability to throw the football because they have all 11 guys right up on the line of scrimmage, daring Kevin Hogan to find a completion.
Didn't have much time to look for one that time.
Generally don't when someone's running free.
That's who he's going to look for, though, Montgomery. He's going to keep trying to find him. That's his guy that can win on the outside.
you guys watch tape this week, much of Stanford's passing attack designed to look at Montgomery first, and why not? When they run, they give it to this guy, Tyler Gaffney. Gaffney upended just short of the 30-yard line. Avery Patterson on the stop.
And again, guys, only one guy deep for Oregon. Avery Patterson kind of playing center field, but he's very close to the line of scrimmage, just up here at the top of the corner. And you know, it's kind of feast or famine of your defense. If a guy gets out of place, you see there a linebacker overruns the play. Tyler Gaffney gets into the second level really quick, and that's a missed Avery Patterson tackle for being a long play, an explosive play, maybe a touchdown.
Gaffney has been better at finding the end zone than opposing defenses have been at knocking him backwards. Odds are in his favor on this 3rd and 1. Gaffney. There's a little traffic in the backfield, and Gaffney negotiated it beautifully to get another first down for the Cardinal.
David Reese, how much weight, how many pounds is packed into this little box right at the line of scrimmage right there with all those bodies? I mean, look at these 4-point stances. There's no space. They're literally foot to foot along the line.
Usually do that graphic every week. Are you not going to give us the graphic of how much they outweigh the defensive line this week?
You know, today, considering the game, I'm gonna let that one slide today. Okay. Keep you on your toes, Pollock.
It's like a ton of fun up there in that little, maybe a little bit more than that. Hogan. It's time to the outside. Montgomery has it. Montgomery slips away from one tackle before he's pushed out of bounds by Ifo Ekpre-Olumu.
And this is the first time we've seen play action on first down, a double move for his go-to guy on the outside. You see him run a little slant. He cuts to the outside. Nice play, but again, we know it's going to be ground and pound, but they're going to have to do this to back Oregon out of the box that we showed a little while ago.
And David,
if they want to create some more space.
I really think tonight, too, it's important. There's another pass catcher that emerges to take some of the pressure away, because you know it, I know it, Oregon knows it. Ty Montgomery's where they're going when they want to throw it. Someone else has to take pressure off.
Playbook really opens. You pick up 9 on first down. Hogan's going to take a shot. He's got a man running free. It's Rector! Michael Rector, the speedster, an explosive play, and Stanford is threatening.
So someone else has to step up and be a second option for Kevin Hogan. How about Michael Rector, who got clocked at a 4.4640 electronically on grass? Ladies and gentlemen, that is officially fast. Simple go route, runs right by Terrence Mitchell, and a nice dime by Kevin Hogan.
Great throw by Hogan, and Mitchell did a bad job. He didn't get his hand on him on the line of scrimmage. You saw Rector get around him. Rector's running a go route. If you've seen him, that's what he does. He's going deep. That's what he does best.
He picked up 47. Stanford in the red zone. And Hogan's in no position to take this snap. He's up at the top of the screen. You can't even see him right now. We're going to direct snap to Tyler Gaffney. Gaffney breaks a tackle in the backfield, avoids losing yards.
There's a really interesting play calling dynamic on Stanford, guys. Mike Bloomgren, as the director, Andrew Luck director of offense, calls plays out in the field. It's David Shaw, the head coach, who actually calls the plays in the red zone, though. You don't see that very often. David Shaw, obviously, a lot of play calling experience in his past, including here at Stanford. It's kind of a different twist that oftentimes you don't find in college football or pro.
Back to the more conventional look with a lot of big fellas, particularly over to the left. Gaffney. Tyler Gaffney down to the 5-yard line. Heather Cox joining us on the sidelines tonight as well. Heather?
Reese, I'm standing next to a very frustrated Mark Helfrich, who was just yelling to the officials. 5 in the backfield, very frustrated with Stanford. Also said, you didn't reset the play clock. How come? The officials didn't have an answer for him. Helfrich keeping his cool, even though he's frustrated down here.
5 in the backfield will be an illegal formation. That's unusual because a lot of times Stanford has 9 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Right. Speaking of, look at the beef.
3rd and 3. Back to Gaffney. Gaffney plunging ahead. And this is Stanford trying to impose its will on Oregon.
David mentioned earlier, the outside zone play is the bread and butter for Oregon in the run game. That power play right now by Stanford, bringing the backside guard, getting an extra blocker at the point of attack, slamming the fullback down front side. That's what they do. That's one of those body blows.
And that's not changing right now.
No.
You can bet on it right now. The same play is coming. It's just going to be if Oregon can stop it.
Gaffney got enough for the first down, so now bet you see him slam it up in there as many times as it takes. It only takes once. Touchdown, Stanford. Gaffney with his 13th touchdown run of the year.
There's David Yankee. He's their best puller. Last year was an All-American at tackle, but he's a more natural guard. Look at that. Just surge up front. Lee Ward at fullback getting a slam. That's just a walk-in. That's demoralizing, I think, if you're Oregon on defense right now.
A 12-play, 96-yard drive, just 1 second short of 6 minutes off the clock, and the Stanford legend John Elway, who will have his number retired for number 7, the Cardinal half-7. Here, Tyler Gaffney just scored the first touchdown of the night. A short kickoff for Stanford and Oregon. Josh Huff on the run, but he'll barely get across the 25. Stanford's defense has held Marcus Mariota scoreless on the Ducks' last 8 possessions dating to last year. What can the Heisman candidate do with the ball? He has it when you come back. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned, making tires that go the distance, inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. And more driven is what the Oregon offense would like to be behind Marcus Mariota. He's had only 5 of his first 10 passes. Missed a couple of opportunities, including what looked to be a sure touchdown chance. Marshall on the ground. Picks up about 3 as we check in with Heather Cox.
Reese, a very uncharacteristic start for Marcus Mariota, who before the game admitted to me that he's a jumble of nerves, but he said, I battle nerves before every game, saying I learned at an early age from my dad not to let him bother me.
That's knocked into the air and almost picked off on the deflection. Jordan Richards diving for it. Another 3rd down coming. So, as you guys watch Mariota play, does he look a little antsy right now?
I don't know if it's so much being antsy. He's just never had an opportunity to throw comfortably from the pocket. Every throw, it seems like, is under duress. That one missed a little bit low, but Stanford doing a nice job with their pressure.
And here comes pressure. Murphy missed him. Mariota gets away. Gets away, but not this time. Finally sacked and brought down. It was Henry Anderson back in action, getting some help from Trent Murphy. Henry
Anderson is the X factor tonight for Stanford. Last year in this game, he was the defensive MVP. You're going to see him here at the top, coming off the edge. It's a guy who's missed a couple of games because of a knee injury early, but now that Ben Garner's down, it is huge that he has a big game in this one and there, applying the pressure.
And that was Trent Murphy. That was Henry Anderson cleaning up, but Trent Murphy.
You guys always helping each other
work on the other side.
Ducks have to punt it away. Barry Sanders calls for the fair catch. He makes it at his own 42-yard line as we go down to Samantha Ponder.
Reese, these defensive coaches couldn't be happier. This is exactly what they told us they were going to do, that they were going to challenge these guys, make Marcus Mariota throw into tight spaces, something that they said he hasn't done much of this year. But here's what they're saying on the sideline. Keep punching. They're going to get tired. We're wearing them out. And if you remember last year, the game against Oregon, that's what happened. They just hung around into the 4th quarter. And these coaches said once our guys get to the 4th quarter and they see that they can win, they will.
Defensive coordinator Samantha Derek Mason refers to it as dragging them out into deep water. Stanford on the ground. A short pickup for Anthony Wilkerson, who's checked into the game.
And for Stanford offensively, they have to limit Oregon's possessions, and that means running the football with success, eating up clock, got to be great on 3rd down, and you can't turn the football over. Their last scoring drive, 12 plays, took up 6 minutes of the clock. That was something they did a good job of last year. Got to do it again tonight.
12 plays, 9 rushes. Get used to it. Look at it again. Tight formation, a lot of big girth with the tight ends and tackles.
Gaffney picks up maybe one. Taylor Hart on the stop. Another third down coming, and 3 times on the touchdown drive. Stanford converted by running with Tyler Gaffney. But what do you think they do here? A little bit more of a distance than they had in some of those runs.
But it's still very manageable. And certainly, we pointed it out along with David here that you got to look at where Ty Montgomery is and where he's going to line up. They can put him in the slot. But this is one of those situations. Your playbook's wide open. Very, very manageable third down right now around 3rd and 6.
Stanford really doesn't care how many plays it runs in a game. Right now, they're even with Oregon, and because of that, they're not going to race to get one off before the quarter comes to an end. First quarter done on the farm, and the Cardinal with the only touchdown so far. A third down coming for Stanford. You come back. Welcome back to Stanford as we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the conference championships and command in the Pac-12 North. One of the things up for grabs as the Duck photobombs the cheerleaders as we start the second quarter here at Stanford Stadium. Cardinal looking at a 3rd and 6. Hogan, a lot of time, fires into a tight window and he puts it right on the money. He's got Ty Montgomery. Terrence Mitchell was blanketed on him, but Hogan put it right in his chest.
Talk about a lot of time is right, but then he throws it, look at that, right over Washington. Great catch with his body in traffic, but how about the time? My goodness. Hogan could have baked a pie back there in the pocket.
And David, you had mentioned earlier how Stanford's been really bad on third down the last 4 games. Already tonight, so much better in execution, and again, staying on the field, keeping the football away from Marcus Mariota in that offense.
Get a first down, get into Oregon territory, bring the big fellas in and try to hit him in the mouth. To the ground. And on right, almost squirted free. Great pickup on first down. Oregon, you have to take away the sack yards, but they haven't done anything on the ground yet. 0 rushing yards. Sack yardage is figured in. Gaffney doesn't go backwards. He strains ahead, trying to get close to the first down marker. It's as if he's going to be about a yard short. DeForest Buckner on the stop. A third down coming. This is where Stanford has been terrific. 4 out of 5. Oregon stacking a lot of bodies in. Gaffney files ahead. First down, Cardinal.
Again, all the big bodies coming in. Look at Yankee, the left guard. Watch him, number 54. No, he just sticks it straight in there. Just grabs a guy, just throws him out of the way. And Gaffney's going to look the same the whole game. He's not going to make those huge plays, but he's going to be consistent, getting 2, 3, 4 yards a pop. Run really hard, really physical.
Gaffney alone running the ball, David, is converted on third down 4 times now. Hogan back to the air, taking a shot, looking for Rector. This one could be intercepted, and it is. Ifo Ekpe-Olumu picked it off. Now, there is a flag, and there was some hand fighting going on between Ekpe-Olumu and Rector down that left side.
I think that's going to be offensive interference. I think that's going to go against Michael Rector. That football thrown way too far inside, and I think he was actually trying to hold the cornerback back.
And if that is indeed the call, it's actually a pretty smart move because that one was floated up in harm's way from the get-go.
Pass interference. Defense, number 14. Wow. Receiver.
Wow.
15-yard penalty. First down.
You thought it was offensive interference. Have a look.
Let's take a look at this again. Okay, well, there he's got his hand on his jersey right there on the inside.
Rector's also pushing him with his right hand from behind. So that doesn't work. Watch, look at Rector right. He's grabbing hold. No, he's guarding hold with after effect. No, you know what? That's a pretty good call. It didn't look like it on the field, but the Pac-12 refs have come under some scrutiny this year. That wasn't a terrible call.
I don't think Ekpe-Olumu would agree with you, but it looked to be. And if you get the arm extended like that, holding them back, they're going to throw the flag almost every time. And as a result, the Cardinal are 1st and 10 in the red zone. Gaffney puts his foot in the ground and goes forward.
So guys, Kevin Hogan got extremely lucky right there because that was a very, very poor throw. And we've talked about how he's been inconsistent at times this year. He averages about 5 bad plays a game, especially over these last 4 contests. You can't have 5 bad plays against Oregon. That could have been a bad play right there. Getting fortunate, though, with the pass interference call.
That's what David Shaw said yesterday. You have 5 bad plays as a quarterback. You think you play a bad game. Ricky Seals in the backfield. Hogan keeps it on the zone read. Hogan lunging for the end zone. They give it to him. Touchdown, Stanford.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Does this look like Oregon? Look at this play. Little zone read, reads the end, runs upfield.
Can't have 5 bad plays. That was a good play.
Jordan Williamson trying to make it 14-0. We talk about offensive innovation. Many times you think it has to be flashy. Stanford with all of these personnel groupings. They brought Ricky Seal onto the field. They made it look like the zone read on the sweep, maybe even a fly sweep look, and Hogan kept it and went in to score. And the number 5 team in the country out to an early lead, and at the moment in command. For the Cup, you can see it this weekend on ESPN. Largest deficit of the season for the Ducks. Here comes Josh Huff. Excellent kickoff coverage once again by Stanford. They've done a great job on that, and Oregon's missed some opportunities early in this game.
Stanford's made the bigger plays, and Oregon has had those miscues early. Wide open Josh Huff on a 3rd down deep. Ball gets underthrown. 4th down. Have an opportunity for Braylon Addison on a fade throw. Ball just a little bit overthrown. They give up a big deep throw to Michael Rector in the following possession, which changes the field possession, leads to a score. And of course, we saw Ekpe-Olumu's pass interference on that last drive that gave Stanford the football inside the red zone.
Heather Cox is down working on the Oregon sideline. Told us that Mariota's battled a little bit of nerves. But that's not unusual for him. He's going to have a little adrenaline, pumping in a big game, and now he's got to settle this offense down. Ducks have taken a couple of shots. Byron Marshall, a big play. Marshall finds the corner and shoved out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. Jordan Richards on the stop.
Oregon has to be able to establish the outside zone. That is their bread and butter. And you see here a rare missed tackle by cornerback Alex Carter on the outside.
21 yards. Mariota chased again, shows that great speed and gets out of bounds before he gets hit. It'll be 2nd and long.
But I think more importantly, too, is how they ran that play. They didn't show their cards by having 1 back in the backfield. I like what they're doing with the 2 backs. They can use a little bit more. Okay, they can run left or right as opposed to having 1 back offset, and you know the outside zone's coming the other way.
Mariota making the adjustments. The Anthony Thomas in motion. They'll throw it to Dent. Thomas has a little room in the block. 1st down, and he's into Stanford territory, knocked out of bounds by Jordan Richards.
Anthony Thomas hasn't been missed as a running back, but this is something that you want to see. You want to get him the ball in space as many times as you can. There's not many in the country that do it better in the open field than the Anthony Thomas.
Big plays like that allow the Ducks to go faster. Mariota, completion. Making a good move is Braylon Addison, and he's inside the 30.
We talked about how the wide receivers at Oregon had to do a better job being physical on the perimeter. Take a look on this last play by D'Anthony Thomas. 2 guys downfield, getting blocked, staying engaged, giving Dad an opportunity to make hay downfield.
On 1st down, Mariota to the outside, and he's too high for Huff. 2nd and 10.
And we've seen people have success early in games against Oregon. UCLA hung with them. It's a 4-quarter job. I mean, the good teams that they can play, they're the bad teams, they're going to run them out the building, but you got to stop this pace over and over and over again. 14-0 and nothing for them to come back.
Marshall. Lowers his shoulder, gets down short of the 25. Looks as if they're going to mark him at the 26. He'll need 6 more for the first down. Dating back to that game at Autzen Stadium last year, as I mentioned earlier, 9 possessions now. The Ducks have failed to score against Stanford, this being the 10th one in a 3rd and 6. Blitz picked up, at least some of them were in the middle, but not everybody was. Coming on the outside was Kevin Anderson. Josh Morrow was there. 4th down for Oregon.
We talked about how Stanford had to be able to control the running game with their front 7. They bring Shane Skove right up the middle in the A gap. They got pressure coming from the outside by Morrow, and Oregon going to go on 4th and long.
A much shorter field goal opportunity last time, and Went didn't make it. Mariota right down the middle and securing the catch is Addison, and this time the Ducks will convert on 4th down to keep the drive alive.
Well, misdirection in the passing game right there, faking the quick screen outside and finding Addison wide open in the middle of the field.
You give the quick screen on 4th and 10.
Don't bite.
Bobbled on the snap. Mariota started to just run with it, and they'll get outside the tackle box and throw it away.
Aggressive play calling is not new for Mark Helfrich, guys. On that 4th down, we saw the fake punt against UCLA down in their own end.
In their own 20.
In a 66-yard game, which changes the momentum, changes the field position. First-year head coach, this guy's got some courage. There's no doubt about that, is Mark Helfrich.
But they've already been down here once, and they failed. Again, can they man up in the red zone? And I think it's got to be Marcus Mariota running the football. We haven't seen him really take off on a designed run yet. Maybe we'll get more of that down here.
Wide open man is DeAnthony Thomas, and DeAnthony is knocked down. Did the ball come loose? Stanford says it did, but it looked as if Thomas was down, and the official comes in and confirms that.
Taking another look, DeAnthony Thomas here. Looks like he kind of, lost possession of it there, going to the ground. Shane Skove getting the hand in right on the football. Take a look again. You're going to see Richards here miss. It's the backside pursuit.
It was moving out for sure.
It was moving.
But does he have it now?
Right. I think that's the question.
Previous play is under further review. The ruler on the field, the runner was down prior to the ball coming loose.
The ball was definitely out before he went to the ground. It's just a matter if he got the fall on it. Big play, big review coming.
A ruling on the field on DeAnthony Thomas's play is that he was down by contact. We have a spectacular shot that we'll show you right here of Shane Skove coming in. And it certainly appears here that ball is not only out, but the Skove just took it from him at the end. And here comes the referee, Jay Strickers.
After further review, the pass was caught, it was fumbled. That fumble was recovered by the defense on the 2-yard line. 1st down and 10, Stanford.
And what a great job by our crew getting a shot for the replay official, Fred Gallagher, to have a look and get the call right as DeAnthony is consoled on the sideline.
Yet another huge miscue by Oregon in this game, turning the football over in the red zone. But David, we talked about how last year Stanford just played tougher. They played harder than Oregon, and a big part of it's right there. You got to fight for loose footballs if you're Oregon when they're on the ground.
It looked like DeAnthony had an opportunity right away to get it and have some urgency. But how about Skove coming from inside out, tomahawking the football and stretching? That's 2 trips to the red zone so far for Oregon, 0 points.
Deep in the red zone, too, David. They passed on a field goal opportunity before. They don't have a lot of confidence in their field goal kicker, and this time, Thomas with the fumble, and Stanford back up deep in its own end. But we saw them drive 96 yards for a touchdown earlier, and they'll keep it on the ground on 1st down to try to get some room.
Oh, I understand the not having confidence in your kicker, but you were at the 4 last time when you went for it on 4th down. You got to have confidence from him from the 4. It's an extra point. Otherwise, you'd go for 2 every time, right? I mean,
well, they do that a lot too, but not necessarily because of the kicker. Helfrich aggressive, perhaps trying to send a message against his Stanford defense, which has now kept Oregon from scoring on 10 consecutive possessions dating to last year's game. Gaffney picks up a couple, 3rd and long coming.
It's the same play over and over and over. It's that power play pulling the backside guard. They got their ogre tight end, Joshua Garnett, on the field at 315 pounds. And again, guys, these body blows, they show up in the 4th quarter. Defenses get worn down. Now here, a critical 3rd and long situation. And of course, more receivers coming on now, a little bit more predictable for Oregon to figure out.
it's not necessarily just that you want to get the first down, which of course you do, but you don't want to give up field position here, which if you have to punt from this end, you could. Hogan stumbled after keeping it after riding Ricky Seal, and Hogan still on his feet. Hogan across the 15 and knocked out of bounds, and Stanford gets out of jail and moves the chains.
Talking about Stanford tackling in the open field against the Ducks. How about the Ducks have 3 opportunities to bring him down? 1, 2, 3 guys hit Hogan. We've talked about it. He's a good scrambler. He's a big dude, too, at 230 pounds. Wow, making a play.
Stanford is 6 of 7 on 3rd down. Those 6 conversions coming consecutively. Gaffney.
Guys, Kevin Hogan just has to make big plays tonight. That doesn't always mean he's got to throw 75-yard touchdown passes, but he's got to be able to scramble. When things break down, he's got to create. In last year's game, he made so many awkward body throws on critical down and distances to keep drives alive. We've seen him tonight throw a long ball to Michael Recker. We've seen him on a touchdown run in the red zone. You just saw a huge scramble there on 3rd down, making the big plays. They don't always have to be explosive, just critical.
Gaffney looking for a seam, plowing ahead. Brian Jackson stops him. But this, if it is a battle of styles and a battle of wills, right now Stanford is imposing its will on Oregon as they pick up another first down.
Yeah, pushing them around up front, making no secrets about it with the extra tight ends. And, you know, listen, you talk about this Oregon team, and this is what we've always said about them, is can they play games when they play against physical downhill running styles? And last year they couldn't match it with Oregon, and right now they're struggling to match them physically.
Time of possession decidedly in the Cardinal favor. Got a screen set up for Gaffney. Gaffney has a first down. Gaffney hit hard, moved it from inside their own 5 up to their 44. Hogan wants to take a shot, and he's going to. Montgomery out there, and some good coverage by Avery Patterson. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I love the play call, and I love the idea, because you've had success running on 1st down. You know Oregon's going to crowd the box and try to stop the run. So try to be unpredictable. Take those play-action shots to your fastest player on offense.
I understand what you're saying, but now it puts you in a worse situation where it's possibly you're not going to get a 3rd and short like you've been getting. So now it could hurt you in this drive. You have to take those shots.
You got to mix them in.
But golly, you feel like you can just run it every time, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
And run it this time. Gaffney, patient. It is going to be 3rd and long. Derek Malone on the stop as we are inside 5 minutes to play. Heavy package has been successful.
They live in a phone booth. They play in a phone booth, bringing all that weight on the field. They've had success tonight, getting push up front, imposing their will on this Oregon D.
They're the #1 team in the country at not getting negative plays. They know who they are. They know what they are. They're not trying to hit home runs like Oregon. They're trying to keep the sticks moving, own that time of possession, and play good defense.
For the kids who might not be familiar with the phone booth, it's a very small place. Hogan on 3rd and 7. He can run for it maybe. Hogan, first down into Oregon territory inside the 45. And Kevin Hogan making another play. That's 7 straight 3rd downs they've converted.
And it's not necessarily, again, a 60-yard completion or a 50-yard scramble, but on a critical 3rd down. Nothing open downfield. Don't panic. Take off with it yourself. You're a great runner. Again, what he did so well in their game last year when they beat the Ducks on the road.
They are chewing up clock. They're keeping Mariota off the field, and they're delivering body blow after body blow to the Duck defense. This time, Hogan did indeed leave it with Ricky Seal. DeForest Buckner on the stop. Hogan has had big completions, 4 out of 7. fakes it to Seal. Underneath, Ryan Hewitt. And Hewitt a sure tackle, or else he might have been able to run for the first down. It'll be another third down coming. That means Stanford has Oregon right where they want them.
And this Stanford offense is a lot different than we saw a year ago. The tight ends aren't used as much in it. It's a lot lower percentage number of passes outside the numbers. Great job with the crossing patterns. Now you have an opportunity to get an easy completion. If I'm Oregon, I'm thinking on third down about Hogan's legs, not his arm.
It'll be Gaffney's legs. Gaffney continues to move the pile forward. Gaffney has a unique ability. It seems as if he gets a couple, and sometimes he squirts and he moves and he powers and he strains and he picks up a little bit more than you'd think. But fourth down's coming here. Stanford leaving its offense on the field.
Guess what play's coming, guys? I'm saying power right now. Pulling guard, power.
Now, do both of you agree with this decision? Jordan Williamson, by the way, has battled a little bit of a groin problem.
That's why I agree with this decision. I mean, he's been banged up. He hasn't been able to kick it as far as he wants to. So I thought the clock went all the way down first.
David Shaw appears to be of like mind. And he calls his first timeout of the first half. It has been a first half in which Shaw's team has executed its game plan to near perfection. They'll try to get a fourth down when you come back. 14-0 Stanford, a fourth down and 1 for the Cardinal. Tyler Gaffney, first down. Clock continues to move, and Stanford has an opportunity to add to its lead before halftime.
They don't care that Oregon knows what's coming. Here's the power play again. Yankee right here pulling front side, getting an extra blocker at the point of attack. Oregon, they can put as many D linemen up there as they want. They cannot stop that play right now.
Is there another metaphor other than a phone booth for how tight those guys are in there? It's
a bunker.
Oh, man. They are in tight. The splits are right next to each other, and they are pushing the Ducks defensive front around. Sweep to Kelsey Young. Good open field play by a host of Ducks. First guy to get there was Avery Patterson. Brian Jackson helped him out.
And that's what's fun about this matchup, and that's what's fun when we talk about these teams, because they're so different. I mean, you look at Oregon, how fast they want to play, how spread they want to play, you know, the speed in which they play. I mean, and then there's Stanford. They want to slow it down, and they want to play right here, come in close, grab a hold of you.
It's really funny how 4 years ago, Oregon's style of offense was seen as cutting edge. Today, it's normal. Today, Stanford's offense is seen as cutting edge because 4 years ago, it was normal.
Oregon seeing a whole bunch of it right in the face right now. Stanford used to have every offensive lineman that they have, and they've been dominant.
The most demoralizing thing for a defense is when they know you're running it and you know the play they're going to use. It's the power play pulling the backside guard, David Yankee, and you just can't line up and stop it.
Oregon took that last timeout in hopes of getting the ball back before halftime. Stanford hoping to add to their lead. Out in the flat to Ryan Hewitt. Hewitt down close to the 20. He needed to get to the 19 for the first down, so the clock winding toward a minute to go. John Elway is going to have his number retired at halftime, and coming up on the Land Rover halftime report, we'll break down the first half between the Ducks and the Cardinal. Elway will have that 7 retired, and the Sooners got off to a pretty good start in Waco, but it came unraveled on them late in the first half. Scott Van Pelt and the guys will have it all for you. And with 46 seconds and counting remaining in the half, Stanford tries to convert another third down. Tyler Gaffney does just that. Clock will stop to move the chains.
What play do you think they ran, Jesse?
They ran the power with David Yankee pulling. Surprise, surprise.
Have you ever seen a team take a timeout on defense with 1:18 left in the plus 30?
It was a little surprising, but you got to think that they probably wanted to see if they could get the stop, use all their timeouts, get the ball back. Instead, it's not working out that way. 37 seconds left. Stanford trying to get more before the break. Here it's 1st and 10, 37 seconds to go. Stanford in the red zone. Sweep, end around, and tie Montgomery. Montgomery bursts through a seam inside the 5, and the clock will stop to move the chains. And Stanford with half a minute to go in the first half with an opportunity to go up by 3 touchdowns.
Love the play call. You've had success all game long running inside, and now on this drive you've seen Kelsey Young and now Ty Montgomery on the outside jet sweep, getting your fastest player of the football in space.
In Oregon, even with this little bit of time left, they're blitzing, playing man coverage on the outside, bringing everybody. It's surprising.
Back to the ground. Stanford does have a timeout left. Gaffney tackled immediately, and with 11 seconds, they have to use it.
Shades of Utah.
I think they managed this perhaps a little bit better than they did at the end of the Utah game when they chose to throw the ball twice.
They ran the ball right there.
They did run the ball, but then used the timeout immediately. So with 11 seconds to go now and a 2nd and goal, you got a reliable field goal kicker in Jordan Williamson. How are you playing this? You're going to throw it into the end zone here?
Yeah, you have time for a shot, but no matter what, I think you have to come away with points here and ride that momentum into the second half. Remember, if you're Stanford, you're getting the football back first, so make this possession count. It started way in your own 5-yard line. Come away with points.
Are you surprised by what you've seen here in the first half?
Oh, God, yes.
Maybe how surprised?
Well,
all right.
A couple things. I'm surprised of how well Stanford's defense played, but physically, this is the best defensive line we've seen Oregon have, and more physical, bigger, and they've been manhandled.
This is the 19th play of the drive coming up. Stanford's held the ball for more than 8 minutes. Hogan firing to the back. They're all tied up over there. And he couldn't quite connect, so it'll be 3rd and goal. Still got a shot here, 6 seconds. Get rid of it quickly, try it again.
Guys, a guy who's not on the field that really hurts right now, Devin Kajust, is a wide receiver who missed their last game against Oregon State with a knee injury. 6'4", 230 pounds. He's a guy, he's on the field now, and that's kind of your jump ball guy. He's not 100%, but he's kind of a different looking athlete outside that causes a mismatch problem with a smaller cornerback.
And it's got to be a throw to the end zone.
Yeah.
It has to be.
And it's got to be quick. Yeah. You can't take any chances here. You want to make sure you get some points. 3rd and goal, no timeouts left for Stanford. 6 seconds remaining in the first half. Got to beat the play clock, and they do. Hogan firing. He's looking for Ryan Stallworth again. There's a flag on the play. Clock strike 0, but that flag is probably going to bail them out. Jay Strickers and his crew getting together. That play probably took a little bit longer than Stanford would have liked.
Especially throwing it all the way across the formation. But you know what? As a defensive guy, that's okay. If you're going to get beat.
Pass interference, defense, number 13. Penalty occurred in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. We will extend the quarter for an untimed down.
And I say that because, Reese, if you're going to get beat.
Yeah, here's Hill like up with Stallworth. And an untimed down.
You only give up 2 yards, though, on the play, so it's still on the 2-yard line.
But there's no time left now, and there's no kicking unit on the field.
It's a defensive flag, so you can't end the half on a defensive flag. So
no, I know, but David, you're not kicking the field goal right here. This is the last play of the half if you're Stanford.
I know, they're going for it. I know that.
Is it the right thing to do?
I was just saying, as a defensive guy and you commit the penalty, you only give up 2 yards, and then the time's up, so they got to kick a field goal and go for it. That's all I was saying. But I understand what you're saying. They're leaving their offense out there on the field right now.
To me, they've had success running the power. They were in a similar situation a few possessions ago on the 2-yard line running it in. But I love, kick the field goal, get the points, take a 17-point lead into half, and get the ball back first.
They've got their field goal unit out there now. It's an extra point linked field goal for Jordan Williamson. But maybe David Shaw was just messing with Mark Helfrich a little bit.
You're getting a little testy on me up here. He's just letting the clock tick down a little bit.
A little bit. Triple zeros on there. This is going to be a 19-yard attempt to put Stanford up 17-0 at the half. Williamson kicked the game winner last year in overtime. Far less pressure this time. But the Ducks shut out in the first half for the first time since 2009 against UCLA, as we go down to Heather Cox, who's chasing down Oregon coach Mark Helfrich.
Of the season, what do you guys do to change things now that you're playing from a come-from-behind position?
We just have to keep playing, We went for it on 4th down there, didn't get it. We turn over inside the 5. That's, effectively two turnovers inside the 5, and it should be 14-14 at worst. But our defense is playing great. Their defense is playing great, and it's a lot of ball left.
Coach, thanks so much. Let's head over to Sam with David Shaw.
Coach, we talked this week about your struggles in the last few weeks converting on third down. Not so much tonight. What's been the difference?
We're just executing. The challenge to the team was to play our best game against one of the best teams in the nation. So far, we're playing well, but this thing is long from over.
Oregon's offense, obviously, used to scoring a lot of points, and a lot of points early. What's enabled the success of your defense tonight, other than just executing?
Yeah, everybody's where they're supposed to be. If you're not, it's going to be a big play. We want either pass or run. So far, guys have been in position. We had a huge turnover at the end there when they came down inside our red zone, and that was just big.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Thanks.
Also kept them off the field, and Stanford with a 17-0 lead at the break. The Land Rover halftime report with Scott Van Pelt's coming up right after these messages.
In these parts, they're always going to celebrate John Elway retiring the jersey. I don't know what Ty Montgomery has to do in the second half. I guess we'll figure something out for number 7 now, but John Elway, always a legend here at the Farm.
I'd have to say I'm truly humbled and honored. I can think back 30 years ago, and it's hard to believe that it's been 30 years. But it's my experience at Stanford University will never be forgotten. And I will say that Stanford University is the reason why I'm standing here right now, and I give Stanford the credit for what I've been able to do.
Land Rover going above and beyond, and thus far in the first half, this defense holding the Ducks at just 22 yards of rushing offense. And Shane Scove going above and beyond as well. It looks like maybe at 14-0. Anthony Thomas might get in the end zone, get the Ducks back in it. Shane Scove says, give me that.
Scotty, this is a huge play in the game.
All Cardinal at the half, 17-0 over the Ducks.
Second half about to start at Stanford. The 5th-ranked Cardinal with a 17-0 lead on number 3 Oregon. It's time to take a look at our coaching adjustments brought to you by the Home Depot.
Life in the phone booth wasn't a lot of fun for Oregon's defense in the first half. A lot of it was the attitude runs by Stanford, power, downhill, but they also incorporated some of the spread elements. Here a zone read play forcing Oregon's defenders to stretch. There's Kevin Hogan running it in for a touchdown in the red zone.
Well, the guys that went in the phone booth and came out as Superman was defense for Stanford. I mean, they did a great job all game long. Look at Scove, inside out, running the play down. He's not the fastest guy in the field, but very good instincts. And then how about this play, inside out to work with the ball. And watch the tomahawk, gets the ball, and then somehow wrestles that away with one arm away from DeAnthony Thomas.
That was a momentum killing play for Oregon and a changing one for Stanford as Ty Montgomery takes the second half kickoff, and you know how dangerous he is. Montgomery's already taken 2 back this year. Montgomery almost broke it. He steps out of bounds, and he sets the Cardinal up with great field position. Exactly what number 3 Oregon didn't want to start this half.
And great field position hasn't been what Stanford's had all game. Their average starting field position has been their minus 14-yard line. Ty Montgomery, he's been one of the most dynamic players in the country this year, not only as a receiver, but as a kick returner as well.
Look how close he came. This we're on the Canadian field, a little bit wider. Montgomery's still running as it is. Stanford will snap it first from the Oregon 38. This Stanford offense, which held the ball for nearly 21 minutes in the first half, and boy, did they like that return in Columbus and Tallahassee. Hogan pulls it down inside the 35 with positive pickup for Taylor Hart tracks him down.
And if you look in the box score of the first half for Hogan, you're going, it's not that impressive, 6 for 10. It's those plays with his feet that he made in that first half that really was the difference. Remember on the 4-yard line, it's the 6-yard line, it's 3rd and 8, makes the big plays. He's done a great job tonight.
It was a huge play, David, because they pretty much ate up the rest of the half. Holding the ball, would have had to punt out of their own end zone. 2nd and 5. Tyler Gaffney, big hole over the left side, and Gaffney's inside the 25. First down, Stanford, and Gaffney is slow to get up. You see the first half stats. Oregon absolutely shut down on the ground. This is a team that is averaging more than 300 yards per game, rushing and passing for that matter, in the time of possession I mentioned a moment ago.
You know what, guys? Stanford's best defense has been their offense, because Marcus Mariota and company can't score points when they're on the sidelines. You possess the football for almost 21 minutes in that first half because of the run plays, sometimes because of Kevin Hogan and this guy Tyler Gaffney. Keep our eye on him here as we see him go down, taking a hit from Avery Patterson. Wrapped up from behind by Ekpre Olomu.
Looks like his ankle, didn't it look like he got caught underneath him right there?
Yeah. Ooh, maybe the other ankle too, both.
Gaffney carried the ball 24 times in the first half. That was his 25th carry.
And he was averaging 21 carries a game so far up to this point. You know what's interesting, Jesse, you talked about time of possession. Doesn't Oregon always poo-poo that stat? It's always like, nah, it doesn't mean anything. It's meaning something tonight.
Empty backfield, Kelsey Young coming fast. He'll throw it underneath to Montgomery. Montgomery's got a seam. He's inside the 15, and now they're coming in and saying the ball hit the ground on the catch.
It did. I like the play call because Oregon's going to stack the box, but the ball definitely hit the ground. Quick decision for Hogan to try to get out to one of his playmakers and let him make a play. What do you think? I thought it skipped.
Yes. Yeah, it's a completion. You know, and again, you talk about the inconsistencies. We talk about Kevin Hogan making 4 or 5 bad plays in a game. That counts as a bad play. It's not an interception. It's not a fumble. But you just negated an explosive play inside the red zone on what should have been an easy completion.
Gaffney on the sideline. Hogan with a 2nd and 10. Keep it on the ground. Ricky Seals hit in the backfield. It'll be 3rd and long. Samantha Ponders checking on Tyler Gaffney.
News down here. He's telling his athletic trainers that he's fine. Was walking gingerly, but they kept asking, and he kept shaking his head. Yes, I'm fine. He's got 2 tattoos on the backs of his arms. One says determination, and the other one says perseverance. He's living that out right now.
That he is, Sam, and without Gaffney in the lineup, Oregon just got its first tackle for loss of the night. 3rd and 13. Big play for the Oregon defense. Wilkerson. Anthony Wilkerson with a big run, but he didn't get quite enough for the first down. Ifo Ekpre Olomu with the stop. Oregon hoping they'll get the benefit of the doubt of one of those late fumble calls as Anthony Thomas let one get away in the first half. A big game that Stanford comes out of there. One of the big linemen holding the ball. That's Kevin Dancer. So a 4th down coming. David Shaw sends his field goal unit out. Jordan Williamson made one on the untimed down to finish off the first half, and he'll try to get the first 3 of the second half and extend Stanford's lead to 20. This is a 34-yard attempt. Williamson puts it through. So Stanford gets the big kickoff return, and they turn it into points. The offense has been dominant. Now the defense gets a shot as Mariota comes on the field. The Thursday night watch party, we ask you to tweet your photos and perhaps a look of shock on the faces at the Game Day Sports Bar in Eugene. A decidedly different feel, perhaps tempered euphoria in Columbus, Ohio, as the Buckeyes need losses ahead of them, trying to work their way into the BCS title game. And of course everybody has to keep winning, and that's been problematic for the Ducks so far. DeAnthony Thomas, always dangerous, is stopped just short of the 30-yard line, and as Mariota comes onto the field, they need some production.
Well, he's entered the game as the Heisman frontrunner. Hasn't always been smooth sailing. A little bit of that has been self-inflicted, missing a wide open Josh Huff early here. Braylon Addison on a 4th down play in the red zone. Missed Josh Huff here on an easy hitch throw. He's had to throw under duress a lot. These examples had a pretty clean pocket. Not as sharp as we've seen this year.
We haven't seen him in like 50 minutes because Stanford's had the football. I mean, he finally gets a chance to get out there. He got in the groove a little bit late in the second half. He's got to pick up on it.
David, it has been nearly 11 minutes of game time until right now when Oregon's offense had it. And Josh Huff slips a guy who was almost hit in the backfield. Whoa, Stanford coming after him. Jordan Richards got him, and Wayne Lyons finished him off.
There is a lot of football left, guys. Oregon can score in a hurry. 69% of their touchdown drives happen in 2 minutes or less. Just hold on. A lot of game to go.
DeAnthony Thomas. You're exactly right. Ton of time. but you've got to convert on third down in order to avoid giving the ball back to Stanford. And here is the 3rd and 1 that the Ducks need. Thomas slips a tackle. He has the first down. And finally wrapped up and brought to the ground by A.J. Tarpley.
Tackling in the open field is going to continue to stress the Stanford defense when guys like DeAnthony Thomas have the football in space. You know, guys, the Cardinal only gave up 2 plays of 20 or more yards in that first half. They got to be good. They got to continue being good tackling in the open field.
Mariota throws it into traffic. It's incomplete. Ed Reynolds knocks it away. 2nd and 10 coming.
And even when Stanford's not getting a good rush, they're playing really good in the back end. I mean, Reynolds is a really good safety. They take really good angles coming up, and there hasn't been a lot of open opportunities. Now, he missed one early in the half, but Stanford's secondary playing really good.
A little surprised not to see Marcus take off with a couple of these and run the ball. Looked as if he had an opportunity that time. Addison coming in motion. Marshall spins away. Gets inside the Stanford 45, and now the Ducks starting to make a move.
Well, to follow up on your point, David, I think one of the reasons Stanford's been so good in the back end, they've gotten pressure with just 4 guys up front, so you can leave 2 safeties high.
Mariota just drilled as he tried to throw it. It was Tarpley again. Tarpley unfettered.
And you've seen Skov coming in on blitzes. You've seen Tarpley coming on blitzes. You've seen Murphy. This is a senior group on defense that has a bad attitude, and they're showing it tonight.
Made the Ducks work for every yard. Explosive plays kept to a minimum. Mariota feeling the heat. Throwing it to the outside, missing. 3rd and 10.
Remember, guys, it's a senior group, like you said, David, that has seen this offense 4 or 5 times now. They got almost 10 juniors and seniors starting. They got 14 seniors on the 2 deep. They're familiar with what Oregon does. Had success against them last year. You can tell they are dialed into the game plan, making Oregon look easily the worst they've looked all season long.
3rd and 10. Thomas Tyner, the freshman, has it. Tyner, not much. 4th down coming.
It's go time.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know how many times you're going to get the ball again with Stanford, the way they've been playing offensively, controlling the clock. You got to go for it.
And if you're Marcus Mariota here, don't be afraid to take off and try to make something happen with your legs.
He's been hesitant to do that tonight,
you know, and
Jesse.
Stanford's gotten home. They've gotten in the backfield. So if it's not there right away, put the game in your hands. Take over. You're the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. Show it.
Crowd alive. Mariota got the speed. Can he get to the sticks? Mariota lunging forward, and this time Marcus pulled it down and ran with it. And you see why he's so dangerous when he does that.
If they're going to get back in this game, the Heisman Trophy front runner is going to have to make plays. And it's all not going to show up the way you designed it on the blackboard throughout the week. You've got to be able to create. That's one of the things he's so good at.
He got just enough to keep the Ducks on the field. Now inside the 35. Tyner still in the game at running back. Here's some confusion as the Ducks looking to the sideline. Play clock now getting on top of them. Blitz coming late. Picked up. Mariota complete out on the left side. Addison makes the grab.
Oregon Stanford Aronis Grasu is living a nightmare right now. All this A-gap penetration. Skov right up the middle. And he's timing his blitzes perfectly.
He always does.
Really stressing this line right in the middle, making it tough. And again, just forcing Mariota just to move a half step off his launch point.
Mariota being chased, throws it, complete. Another first down for the Ducks. Daryl Hawkins making his first catch of the night.
But look how difficult everything is for Mariota. It's not just sit in the pocket because you got your guards coming back in your lap because Stanford's blowing you up. It's scrambling around, making plays. He's going to have to master it running on the, because he's having to run the whole game.
Another mistake for the Ducks, it appears, is Pharaoh Brown fired out. There's no snap.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, they got Fisher, but Pharaoh Brown, the tight end, jumped out there quickly.
And that
too.
stoppage really helps Stanford's D. This is the first time they may be getting gassed. This has been an 11-play drive, and that tempo now, Oregon uses trying to wear them down.
Mariota feeling the heat. Buying time, running out of time, and down he goes. Football's on the ground. Football's on the ground. The officials are signaling it as Cardinal football. Jarek Lancaster, the reserve linebacker, coming up with the ball, and Mariota is hurt.
The sky is falling right now for the Oregon Ducks. On offense, on defense, nothing going right. We go back and take another look at this play. Mariota trying to get rid of it. He's got someone grabbing his arm. There's a fumble as Tarpley goes up over top. 3 Cardinal defenders just fall right on top of him.
Mariota hasn't thrown a pick this year, but fumbles have been a problem, and a huge turnover for the Ducks. John Elway had his number 7 retired at halftime. You saw some of the ceremony, and it was a nice one for one of the many legendary quarterbacks that Stanford has had.
Of our current number 7s conclude. Confirmed. Stanford ball, first down.
Jay Strickers confirming that Marcus Mariota fumbled. Here's the play. Ducks entered the game plus 13 in turnovers. They're -2 tonight.
And sometimes you can't turn a bad play into a catastrophe. You just got to throw it away, take the no gain play, and live to fight another one. But he holds onto the ball and makes a big mistake.
David, and on that subject, Derek Mason, everybody wants to limit explosive plays, but the reason, he said, you increase the opportunity for the other offense to make an error, and that's the 3rd time Oregon's had a drive reach the red zone tonight. They failed all 3 times, turning it over on downs and 2 turnovers, including that one. Back to the ground, Tyler Gaffney, and just right on cue, he put it on the ground, and maybe things are just bouncing Stanford's way. It looked as if he got it back, but now the Ducks are saying they pulled it out of the pile. Ifo Ekpere-Olumu was the one that knocked it away.
It looked like he one-handed it like Shane Skov did.
And he still has it.
Wow. There was no way I thought he came back up with that football.
2 fumbles tonight. Skov one-hands it away from DeAnthony Thomas. And watch this play right here. First of all, great strip by Ifo.
Yeah, great play. Watch this. Now,
bounces off.
Look, that's a great play by Gaffney. It's also lucky.
Lucky, no doubt.
Fortuitous.
It
is fortuitous.
And guys,
that's what it is.
He's got to start being careful because he had almost a critical fumble late in their last win against Oregon State in the game. He's got to put 2 hands on that ball.
2nd and 3. Hogan going to take a shot, firing it to the outside. Had a big play earlier in the game to Michael Rector. This time it'll be 3rd and 3 as we go down to Heather Cox.
Reese, right now, Mark Helfrich talking to his quarterback, Marcus Mariota. The athletic training staff just finished diagnosing and looking at his left knee. They removed that brace and then performed a stability test, really testing the strength of the ligaments in that left knee. He passed the test. They put the brace back on. Marcus has his helmet on, but both backup quarterbacks also warming up. We'll keep you posted.
All right, Heather, and the 2 backup quarterbacks gotten a lot of playing time, and Marcus comes out of the game, but not necessarily in the heat of a game in which Oregon's in trouble. Jeff Locke and Jake Rodriguez on 3rd down. Stanford converts again by guess who? Here's another look at Mariota in the play in which he fumbled and was also hurt.
He's got a linebacker that weighs 250 pounds falling down on top of him on that leg. That was really the only weight-supporting leg he had on the ground at the time. You hope he's okay if you're an Oregon fan right now because he means everything to your offense.
And there had been some talk about it because he's had that knee brace and what was going on with it, the partial MCL. I don't think we heard the news exactly what was, but you can see that's definitely bothering him now.
Oregon, like many schools, doesn't release injury information. On the ground, that's right. Ramon Wright, as a flag comes flying in. Stanford didn't have any penalties in the first half. The way that one flew in, typically not good news for the Cardinal. Let's see And Jay Strickers and his crew detected.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense, number 33. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Sometimes everything is just going your way, and it is right now for Stanford.
But you know what, Reese? Discipline has been an issue for Oregon this year with respect to penalties. See here, just kind of going to the ground. It doesn't look like much. There's a little kind of subtle grab of the face mask, something you don't definitely have to do.
Looked like much. I didn't see it at all.
I'm not sure that's exactly where it was. Yeah, it was Tyson Coleman, 33. He was nabbed for it. The 15-yard penalty moves the ball inside the Oregon 40. 1st and 10 from the 39. Hogan kept it. Hogan picks up a couple. We're going to keep an eye on Tyson Coleman. He's on the left side of your screen, number 33. See him. There he is.
Okay.
Coming into the frame there.
He knocks the helmet off.
Yeah. I think he got the helmet off of Kyle Murphy. Yeah,
coming around the outside. But again, you know, guys, they average 8 penalties a game. That's 112th in the country. And this is a moment, being down 20-0. I mean, you can't have that kind of undisciplined
How many does Stanford have tonight? 0.
Smart football.
No penalties, no turnovers, though fortunate that they don't have one of those. Play action with Wilkerson. Hogan pulls it down to the 30. He needs to get to the 29 for the first down. Another 3rd down coming. Cardinal have been brilliant, 9 out of 12 on 3rd down tonight.
And this looks exactly like the first half for UCLA, all over again, containing Brent Hundley. He did most of his damage when they blitzed him, heated him up, and he kept finding avenues. Hogan's doing the same thing. If it's not there, he's like, forget it, I'm going to take off and make some positive plays.
And that's the difference, guys. When Marcus Mariota's been under pressure, he's scrambled, and they haven't come up with the positive plays. Every time Kevin Hogan's scrambling, he's putting the foot in the ground, making 3rd downs convertible.
Was there really any doubt what they were going to do?
You know what? We talked about the body blows and the effect and the toll that takes on a defense. A lot of those runs right there in the first quarter, those were gaining 2 and 3 yards. Now all of a sudden in the second half, we're seeing these plays turn into 8, 9, 10-yard gains.
And it's been a lot of number 25, a lot of extra offensive linemen and offensive guards and offensive tackles playing tight end. Smash mouth Stanford football, what they want to accomplish, and the Ducks have had 0 answer for it.
And all those runs, David, on 3rd down. How about that?
9 of their 10 3rd down conversions come via the run. Gaffney to the 25.
And what I love about Stanford, they recommitted to running the football 2 weeks ago. They got away from that when they lost up at Utah. They were having success throwing it, so they came out, threw it all over the yard on 1st down. It led to turnovers, it led to sacks. They lost the game. In the last 2 games against UCLA and Oregon State, they ran it 83 times. Got back to what they do, because that's what they need to do to win games. They're doing it again tonight.
One of the reasons David Shaw has twice been voted Pac-12 Coach of the Year. Cardinal are the reigning Pac-12 champions. Hold on to this lead, and they'll have the edge in the Pac-12 North. At least they'll have the head-to-head tiebreaker against Oregon.
Timeout, Stanford. Timeout number 1.
Stanford uses its first timeout of the second half. They're continuing to bleed the clock as number 3 and undefeated Oregon getting punched in the gut 20-0 by Stanford. 2nd and 7 coming for the Cardinal. Tyler Gaffney slips as he got to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down coming up. Stanford lines up Wildcat on a 3rd down. Tyler Gaffney gives it to Kelsey Young. Young has the edge inside the 20. Down close to the 15. Young still on his feet before he's knocked out of bounds. And Stanford does it again. You want some offensive innovation? There's a little more.
No matter what they're dialing up right now, it's working right now. They've been successful inside. Kelsey Young here on the jet sweep. Better blocking downfield. They just want it more. Look at that tackle and that attempt by Eric Dargan right there at safety. Not even trying to wrap. It's almost like they're not even trying.
If you just watched the end of that run and you hadn't seen the whole game, you could figure out exactly what's going on. Look at that stat right there. 206 to 50 rushing.
And here's the key, David. Stanford's 28-1 under David Shaw when they outrush their opponent. That tells you everything you need to know about their form.
Hogan, the slant. And it's caught by Jordan Pratt. Think about this. Stanford, first possession of the night, 3 and out. Ducks haven't stopped them since. 2 touchdown drives, a couple of field goal drives, and this drive, which is now carried inside the Oregon 10.
Tick, 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 tick. Right now, if you're Stanford, lead the clock. You're in control. There's no rush.
Do you throw it again the rest of the game?
I think David Shaw, when he touches his nose like that, the signal, that means power.
Tyler Gaffney. That's really the
His
signal
nose
for
would be
power.
wrong right
I was going to
now.
say he's going to rub all the skin off of his nose. Just keep hammering away, and Shaw does make the play calls in the red zone.
But you talked about the BCS standings, and we talked about Oregon so much, and everybody says the same thing. What do all the critics out there of Oregon say? When they play a physical team, how do they respond?
Mariota's had a rough night. Still a quarter and a couple of minutes to go. Oregon can score quickly, but they'll have to be much more efficient than they've been. Stanford looking at a 3rd and 2, trying to add to its lead. Gaffney spinning, plunging. Enough Ducks around him. I'm gonna mark him just a little bit short of that yellow line.
Go for the knockout shot here if you're Stanford. 4th and short, the way you've been running it. Now 27-0 normally wouldn't be a knockout for Oregon. They score so quickly, but we are getting close to the 4th quarter. Or if you take the points, go up 23-0.
It adds a possession if you could get a touchdown here, but 23-0 means you need 3 touchdowns and 3 2-point conversions.
Guess what play this is going to be? Guess what play this is going to be?
I'm guessing power.
Yeah. It's probably going to the right side.
Probably going to Gaffney.
Yankee pulling.
Oh, the Ducks are up there close. Whistles come. They did not give it to Gaffney. They gave it to Ryan Hewitt. But a flag flies, and the initial indication from the official across the way is offside Stanford.
Snap, encroachment on the offense, lining up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
You don't hear that call very often, guys. How many times have you ever heard lining up in the neutral zone? We talked about the 4-point stance earlier.
Is it the right guard beside the center?
That's the only guy.
It looked like his helmet was a little bit further ahead. But hey, guys, how about that? Stanford's first penalty, and it's costly because they converted that 4th down. It might have cost them 7 points. Or really 4 if
he can make this 26-yard field goal. Williamson is 2 for 2 tonight. Williamson puts it through, and Stanford, sort of like they've played tonight. They've churned up the clock. They've churned up yardage. They grind out a few more points, and it's 23-0 on the far. Oregon averaging more than 55 points per game, and they've got nothing with 91 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. 3 times they've had drives reach the red zone. Each time they've come up empty. Stopped on downs once, couple of turnovers. 16 minutes and 31 seconds to try to get back in the game. Mariota again avoiding the run, throwing it way too high to Byron Marshall. It'll be 2nd and 10.
He has never been comfortable tonight throwing the football. And when he's just had to move a little bit, he's missing by a lot.
The drive chart for the Ducks, not productive. They're used to scoring in very few plays. 41 of their 59 touchdown drives, 2 minutes or less. Often quick strike. Mariota reloads, finds Addison over the middle, and it comes free, and it'll be 3rd down and 10. Shane Skov is on the coverage as Addison blew a shoe.
Jesse, you're a quarterback. How are you throwing from that pocket right there? I mean, you got 4 guys in your lap.
Every play.
I think Oregon's got to get the ball out quicker on the perimeter. DeAnthony, the one series they started moving around and getting the rock.
Yeah, maybe move the pocket a little bit more for Mariota.
Mariota firing in a miscommunication. Looking for Josh Huff, 4th and 10.
I don't know if it's so much a miscommunication as it is Josh Huff not playing with a sense of urgency, being very lackadaisical coming out of his break. And you know, maybe because of that pressure that Mariota's had all night, now all of a sudden the clock's going off faster. Maybe you're throwing it a little bit sooner than you should. I don't care who you are. I don't care how calm you are. Pressure affects you as a quarterback.
Frustration starting to set in on the sideline. Josh Huff, head and hands. No time for that for the Ducks. Stanford's going to get it back. Barry Sanders makes the fair catch. People have compared Stanford's defense favorably with the elite in the country, and boy, nothing you've seen tonight would change that. Tyler Gaffney, first down and more. Finally wrestled down by Brian Jackson, and the flag's going to come out as Gaffney's slow to get up again, and some frustration starting to set in for the Ducks. Though in fairness to Jackson, you do, at this point, you have to get him on the ground however you can, I guess.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 12. 15-yard penalty, first down.
He had him around the neck and that bottom bar of the face mask. Brian got his hands in it. Another major penalty against the Ducks. And we've looked for ways to say Oregon still has a chance. You give up a touchdown in this drive, and
we'll run out of ways.
Might not be many answers for Mark Helfrich.
Stanford looks like a heavyweight fighter right now on offense. All those punches in the stomach, boy, it's making Oregon drop their guard a little bit right now. It's forcing them to back up, get on the ropes, and that's exactly where Stanford has them right now in the ring or in the phone booth.
First down run with Anthony Wilkerson. The Stanford offensive line has been terrific tonight, Sam.
Yeah, Reese, no signs of complacency for them when they were on the sidelines. Such an intense huddle led by David Yankee, very demonstrative, saying that last drive was just unacceptable. They're robbing us of points, but reminding his guys, stop looking at the scoreboard. Don't take your foot off the gas. I think they can taste it, Reese, very close.
Well, they're going to taste it, Sam, as we move to the fourth quarter. Stanford has 232 yards rushing. They have been the tougher team. They've been the meaner team. And so far through three quarters, they've been the better team. 23-0, Stanford's up.
Your strengths. The number 3 Ducks, the 5th-ranked Cardinal, in prime time.
As we start the fourth quarter, this was the scene on the Oregon sideline. That's Josh Huff, the wide receiver, who emotional, shedding tears. Marcus Mariota showing his leadership, trying to keep Huff involved. Oregon's in trouble. They're not done as the fourth quarter starts. Gaffney breaking a tackle in the backfield, and boy, this guy just keeps those legs churning and just never gives in and goes backward.
One of the most amazing things about watching him on tape is he looks the same snap 1 as he does snap 30, snap 40. He just keeps coming north and south, doesn't give up, keeps running hard behind a physical offensive line.
It's incredible that he missed a year of football playing baseball, but the coaches said he was in the best shape of his life when he returned to camp this season. That's showing up tonight.
He hit nearly 300, too. It's not as if you were playing poorly in baseball. Boy, he's been a home run for the Cardinals tonight. Gaffney, first down.
And what else can you say about this offensive line? You heard Sam talking about them at the end there of the third quarter. They're an experienced bunch, 4 seniors up front. They take pride in their physicality. That showed up tonight. And guys, they're smart. You know they've only had 1 holding penalty on them all season long? We're entering week 11, but you'd expect that. You got guys up there with biomechanical engineer majors and aeronautics and astronautics majors. Better be smart. I'll tell you what, they're nasty too. They are physical, and right now hitting Oregon in the face.
Back to Gaffney. To the 15 and mark down there. The clock as much an enemy of the Ducks right now as Stanford is. It's Josh Huff, who's regained his composure, but Oregon's sideline looks to be in a state of shock. They felt as if they didn't play hard enough last year against Stanford, and that was the reason why they lost. They promised that it would be different tonight. It hasn't been different.
What did D'Anthony say?
He said they would put up 40. They need 40 in the next 13 minutes to...
You got the 0 part, right?
It's that.
If they played 7 games, maybe they get to 40.
Gaffney inside the 10. We'll go inside 13 minutes. Gaffney needs 3 rushes to tie the Cardinals' single-game record. Tommy Varnell had 39 rushes against Cal back in 1991.
And one of the things that we talked about, Jesse, is Oregon's defensive line and being so much more physical than you're accustomed to seeing, and the size up front being, 315, 300 pounds, 300 pounds.
Bigger than they've been before.
Hasn't mattered.
No.
Here's the third down play. Gaffney looking for room. Ducks turn him away. It'll be fourth down coming up. And Shaw sending out his field goal unit. And while David would love to have had a touchdown, the drive accomplishes its purpose. Chewing up
And
clock.
it's a 4-possession game now to get this field goal. So, I mean, foot on the throat, trying to put the nail in the coffin.
Williamson
Field goal's big.
is converted from 19, 34, and 26. This one from 25. Perfect. Stanford has pushed its lead to 26-0. Though there's the flag.
Formation on the offense, 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
Well, Helfrich wanted that called against Stanford earlier in the game. They'll take it now. They'll back it up 5 and try the field goal again. So the score reverts back to 23-0. Now Williamson will have the opportunity from 30. Back it up 5, same result. Back to 26-0. Oregon making the trip to Stanford and perhaps seeing his national title dreams. They punched right in the gut. 26-0 Cardinal. After the latest Jordan Williamson field goal, Conrad Ukoprina kicked it off to Anthony Thomas. Thomas, who had a huge fumble in this game, to make a play. That was supposed to be Baylor's first test. The Bears pass it with flying colors. Oregon's flunking their test right now. And a false start on the Ducks.
False start. Offense number 16. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
This is not where you want to be as an offense playing against one of the best pass rushing units in the entire country. At this point in the game, 26-0. Pitting their ears back, all the different combinations of blitzes they can dial up with all the different blitzing linebackers. You got these freak shows in Morrow and Murphy and Anderson coming off the edge.
The Anthony Thomas up to the 41, 2nd and 9 coming. Mariota. Darrell Hawkins, who was called for the false start penalty, he converts, and they'll move the chains.
Stanford with the corner blitz. You think they're letting up? Keep coming. Tell you what, we talked about this senior unit, man. Playing with a chip on their shoulder. Some prideful individuals on Stanford D.
Mariota to Josh Huff. And Huff, who was emotional on the sideline a moment ago, makes a play. And Oregon is threatening again as Huff is very slow to get up. And trips into the red zone, not resulted in any points for the Ducks. As Huff is being attended to, he's along the Stanford sideline. The Oregon training staff will come across to check on him. 26-yard pickup. That's the 3rd play of the night for Oregon of 20 or more yards. Typically, they live on those types of plays and get a lot more of them. We'll check on Josh Huff, who was injured on the last play, got up just a moment ago and started to trot back toward the Oregon sideline. He took a few steps and then sat back down. He's sitting right at the 24-yard line and being attended to. Here's the hit that Huff took after making the catch in the pass from Marcus Mariota. Kind of got hit in the side of the head by Wayne Lyons. And now Huff is back on his feet. He wanted to trot off, but it appeared that he got dizzy or something. He's being assisted now across the way to the Oregon sideline. Huff has been such an important part of the Oregon offense, which has been wildly successful prior to tonight. Use him in a variety of ways. The Ducks trying to get on the board. You saw a moment ago, we showed you a graphic. They haven't been shut out since 2007 against UCLA. That was the week after their quarterback, Dennis Dixon, was hurt and sort of in disarray. It's not the case tonight. They've just been dominated, and their star quarterback, Marcus Mariota, has been ineffective. Not much from Byron Marshall tonight. They haven't been on the field much, and he gets the carry here. Mariota came into this game the leading Heisman contenders, hit just 50% of his passes, and it's not so much numbers as the missed opportunities. Flags fly, whistles blow. And David, you said you didn't see the call much, but
encroachment on the offense, number 16, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Twice tonight. We need a stat record of that one. I bet that's never happened in a football game. Offensive encroachment twice in a ball game.
Not in the modern day. You're right. You don't see it very often.
No, back in the triple option days, and they were cheating up there, yeah, but not nowadays.
Mariota firing. Hawkins made up for it. Darryl Hawkins with a touchdown. He was the one who lined up in the neutral zone, and now he winds up in the end zone, and the Ducks are on the board.
One of the very few times tonight Mariota's had a clean pocket to throw from with a lot of time. And Hawkins not his primary intended target. He was second in the progression because Mariota had the time to get his vision downfield and into the middle of the field. It's never looked that easy for Oregon tonight.
Unless things change drastically, Mariota's now thrown a touchdown pass in all 22 games in his career. I don't think he cares about that at the moment. 26-7 now, just over 10 minutes to go. Do the Ducks have a rally in them, or can Stanford put this thing away? Alejandro Maldonado is on to attempt what appears to be, for all the world, an onside kick. Oregon needs the ball back, so they're going to try to get it via the onside kick. It's up there, and excellent work on the hands team by Stanford. That's Jeff Trojan, a wide receiver, and the Cardinal will have the ball with 10:09 remaining in the game.
I was going to say, is he keeping the football? He just ran off with that thing.
Y'all ever seen the football kicked like that?
Never.
Put it down there like a Frisbee.
Well, it worked.
It was a good one.
Perfect. Yeah.
Solid.
Great catch, though, by Trojan. I thought he was keeping that thing for a souvenir.
He had a couple of bounces, so he had an opportunity to go in and get the high hop, and not a Duck got close enough to it. Sure-handed was Jeff Trojan. Now Tyler Gaffney's in the game. He's carried it 38 times. Now 39, and that ties a Stanford single game record, and with 10 minutes to play, I'm going to guess that he's going to break that tie with touchdown Tommy Vardell in a matter of moments.
Because Kevin Hogan's not going to attempt another pass. And in their 7 wins this year, he's only attempted 12 combined fourth quarter throws. The way they've run it tonight, they should not throw it again. David, they shouldn't throw it again the rest of the year.
We talked about that coming out in the second half, but I don't know if I'd have the nerve to call a pass play.
Back to the ground. It's not Gaffney, but Wilkerson this time. Heather, how's Josh Huff?
Well, after that big hit we saw in the last series, a team of doctors have been tending to Josh Huff on the sideline. Those doctors suggested to Huff that he go to the training room for more evaluations, but he shook the doctors off and said, no, I'm staying out here with my team till the bitter end.
And it appears that the end is indeed going to be bitter. But if Oregon is to have any chance at a miracle, it would behoove them to get off the field on third down here. Kevin Hogan, option look. Hogan straining forward, and how many times has Kevin Hogan not made the spectacular play, but just the play that was needed?
What can you say about the way he's played tonight? The numbers don't jump out at you off the stat sheet.
7 for 13.
That's all he is.
100 yards passing.
But he did complete the big deep throw to Michael Rector. How many times have we seen him scramble on third downs when things weren't there? He's made countless plays with his legs. He's just been lights out tonight. done exactly what he needed to do for this Stanford offense.
A dominant performance by the Cardinal offensive line. Really the entire team for that matter. Gaffney. That's 40 carries for Tyler. He has the record in a single game. 7.5 to play here on the farm. Stretch play. Hogan got it to Gaffney, and somebody got a hand on Tyler's shoelace, or he would have picked up another first down.
You know another reason why Stanford should never throw it? You know they've now won their last 3 games when Hogan completes 8 passes or less in a row. Think about that. They beat Oregon State with him only completing 8 throws. They beat Washington State last year. Tonight, he's completed 7. And it's the formula. When you play that kind of defense and you run the ball the way you do, throw it back. Throwback football.
Tyler Gaffney. Well, David Shaw said he didn't worry about him being out of football for a year. Showing the toughness, and now DeAnthony Thomas on the sideline. And look, how you feel is how you feel, but he was grinning and smiling over on the sideline. I'm not sure there's a lot to smile about right now, David.
I wouldn't want that kind of stuff from my teammates. You see Josh Huff crying, which is everything you love about college football, when a guy cares that much and doesn't want to go back in the training room. But I don't want to see anybody smiling if I'm on that sideline. That always bothers me as a player.
What about a guy that hasn't played very much this year? A guy that's missed a lot of time, took himself out of the game in the second half against UCLA.
Stanford.
Stanford, timeout number 2.
And Stanford used the timeout, their second one here in the second half. We're being told now that doctors are insisting to Huff that he go back to the training room. You see he's being escorted back that way now. It's been a miserable night for number 3, but a grand one for number 5. Back at Stanford Stadium as we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the conference championship. 6:16 to go, and when time expires, Stanford will move to 8-1, 6-1 in the Pac-12 North, and the only thing that will stand between the Cardinal and a return engagement in the Pac-12 championship game, a road trip to USC and a game against Cal. Win those 2 games, the reigning Pac-12 champions will be back in the conference championship game. What a workhorse Tyler Gaffney has been tonight. We'll wind inside 6 minutes to go. I just wanted you to own it.
Own it.
The rare moment Tyler Gaffney is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. So a Thursday thesis now. Just what does this do for Stanford in terms of the national championship race if things start to go into upheaval? You've said that the loss to Utah would be an albatross.
Yeah.
How does this affect your perception of Stanford?
This affects it because this is the most impressive win in college football this season. So
more so than Florida State at Clemson.
Absolutely.
Really?
This demoralization of the number 2 team or number 3 team in the country? Absolutely.
I would put it right at par.
I would say
it was 51-7 with 13 seconds to go at Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, this was a beatdown too.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I put it up there with that. But it's still, if you're going to start comparing one-loss teams, listen, you still got Ohio State.
There, right?
If we get to that point, you got to look at Missouri, who's at 8 now, that has a few more opportunities with Ole Miss, A&M, possibly a number 1 Alabama, a top 10 Auburn team. I still think this loss, the loss of Utah, might affect Stanford going forward.
Gaffney bouncing to the outside. Gaffney upended. Tough tackle by Ifo Ekpe-Olumu.
What say you, Jesse Palmer?
Well, I think this is as impressive as the win that Florida State had at Clemson as you take a look at this tackle by Ekpe-Olumu. But when Stanford plays like this, and when they've played the way they have the last 2 weeks, when they play like they didn't play at Utah, they're good enough, in my opinion, to beat anybody in the country. And if you take a look at their resume, if they win out, if they've beaten Oregon, Oregon State, Washington, Arizona State, UCLA, USC that's going to be better, Notre Dame in a Pac-12 title game, that's better than I think anybody else out there. And so you can't discount the loss at Utah, but I look at it more subjectively. When they play like this, and they weren't running the football against Utah. When they do that, I think they're one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the country. I really do.
Jordan Williamson is 4 for 4 on field goals tonight. Already had Tyler Gaffney set a school record. And Williamson misses an opportunity to do so. And now Oregon blocks a field goal and running the other way. Rodney Hardrick on his way. Touchdown Ducks in just over 5 minutes to go. Oregon's within 2 possessions. Hardrick is the guy who ran the ball in the fake punt that changed the momentum against UCLA. It's pretty late for a momentum change, but the blocked field goal and a low kick gives Hardrick a chance to run it into the end zone. And Oregon, for the first time tonight, really, with a little bolt of energy.
And you can't fall asleep right now if you're Stanford. As dominant as you've been the entire game, you've got to close these out.
Oregon puts the offense on the field. They're going for 2. It's the right call. Going to try to get it to 11 so that, in theory, one of your possessions could be a field goal. You score a touchdown and get another 2-point conversion. Long way from that, but just explaining why they're choosing to go for 2 here. Mariota into the end zone, and he stepped out of bounds. The hats came off. So that will not be a successful 2-point conversion attempt by Braylon Addison.
And that's just a bad job by Braylon. He's got to stand in the back of the end zone. He can't go in the paint. How about that, Jesse? They finally moved the pocket a little bit.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that all night.
2 officials' hats, a flag.
Well,
all kind of laundry in the back of the end zone.
It's because I think he stepped out twice.
Ruling on the field is that the receiver, number 11, stepped out of bounds on his own, returned inbounds to catch the pass. That is illegal touching. Play results in a loss of down. Extra point is no good.
As you go back and take a look at this, you're going to see Braylon Addison right here at the bottom of the screen. Just watch him here. He steps out right there, and then he kind of shuffles back in, and then steps out again, and then
again.
Yeah,
and
again. So that's why there's the hat, there's flags, everything gets thrown. Kevin Hogan knows. Another big stop for the defense.
5:08 to go, and Helfrich used a timeout on the last Stanford possession. Maldonado put together a beautiful onside kick that Stanford recovered, but it was very well executed. At least rolled along the ground and then took a big hop late.
Love this.
Maldonado with that unique tee up for the onside kick. Here it comes. Big hop. It's free this time. And it came loose a second time. Ball still on the ground, and the Ducks have it. Darrell Hawkins, who caught a touchdown pass earlier, winds up with the football. And let's not put this thing to bed just quite yet.
Flag looks like it got thrown in this play late as well, but the awkward tee stands.
Everybody in the country is going to be kicking like this on onside kicks from now on, because that was 2 gorgeous ones, and it's just slipping around.
Jeff Trojan, who made the great play on the last onside kick, couldn't corral this one. There were more late flags that came in here. The officials are talking.
Guys, 5 minutes is an eternity for Oregon to score twice. If their defense can get a stop.
After the play, and sportsmanlike conduct on Oregon, number 75. 15-yard penalty. Down will be 1.
The Ducks just can't get out of their own way. A mistake by Jake Fisher on sportsmanlike conduct. Oregon still has the football, but instead of having the ball in Stanford territory, they'll start at their own 43. Not that that's poor field position, but 5:03 to go, down 13 points. You'll take every inch you can get right now. Crowd exhorting the defense. DeAnthony Thomas has a crease into Stanford territory at the 49. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Well, the crowd's waking back up. Stanford, as a defense, needs to wake back up. Remember, they allowed an easy touchdown pass 2 possessions ago, and you just had the field goal block for a touchdown.
Mariota. Pharaoh Brown, the tight end, knocked out of bounds by A.J. Tarpley. Be enough for the first down.
Gotta get that nastiness back, that edge back that they had.
Crowd trying to get him back in the game. Ball spotted. Ducks want to move quickly. It's Addison in motion. Back to the ground. Now inside 4.5 minutes to play. As Anthony Thomas is knocked down, and Thomas scrambling to his feet as Mariota gets his team lined up. Mariota throws as he's hit. Addison slips a tackle. Addison inside the 25. Another first down for Oregon.
Stanford hasn't been missing tackles all night. You see a big missed tackle right there. Again, all of a sudden, this is the first time you've seen the Stanford defense on their heels, not playing as sound fundamentally assignment football as they were for the first 3 quarters.
Inside 4 minutes, clock moving. Mariota, a lot of time. Pharaoh Brown, his second catch on the drive.
Couldn't get out of bounds.
Winding the clock.
Well, you got to do that. You got to know where you are on the field. Stretch that football out. Stop the clock.
Ducks moving quickly. Mariota has a man inside the 5, and the Ducks are on the doorstep, making the grab. Chance Allen into the game, and Oregon has a chance to make this a 1-possession game just inside 3.5 to go. James Waters, Stanford linebacker, was in the backfield. Ball's on the ground. Mariota recovered it, and Oregon almost had another red zone disaster.
All of the breaks have been going Stanford's way. Here, James Skov kind of comes in the A-gap again, but Oregon hadn't been getting the bounces. He got a big one right there.
Inside 3 minutes, Anthony Thomas still on his feet. No, sir. 3rd and goal coming. A.J. Tarpley, Wayne Lyons there, and Stanford's making Oregon use clock.
Yeah, and remember that big stand they had late in the game against Oregon State in their last win. 4 tries Oregon State had to send that game into overtime. Couldn't do it. Looks like Stanford's D again having to answer the bell.
Well, this is another trip for Oregon inside the 5 and come away twice empty.
Overloaded to the left. Mariota running right. Mariota fumbles the football. Mariota somehow got back on it. James Waters knocked it free. Oregon going to use their last timeout.
James Waters was moved to outside linebacker last season because of his edge rushing ability. They're able to get, again, you know, guys, ball security has been a major issue for Marcus Mariota in the last couple games. He had 3 fumbles in his last 2 games coming into tonight. Hasn't been good tonight. It's a great job by Waters, and I don't think Stanford thought the football came out. There were a lot of kind of lackadaisical Stanford players, you know, that were kind of late running to the football. Now you got a big, big 4th and goal.
Well, they were setting up a shovel pass. That's what it was supposed to be, so I think maybe Stanford thought that they had thrown it, but either way, that ball needs to be tucked away from Mariota, but again, he was trying to pass it, but again, this is another thing that we always talk about with Oregon. In the red zone, when you have to man up and get those tough yards, they've struggled with it over and over and over.
I know they didn't want to substitute on the goal line, but you also wonder, where's Marshall, where's Thomas Tyner, a little bit bigger back down there than Anthony Thomas, or maybe in the game with depth. After the timeout, 4th and goal. Any sliver of hope the Ducks have on this play. Mariota firing into the end zone. Touchdown Ducks. Pharaoh Brown with the catch.
Right away, Mariota, great job buying time, stepping up in the pocket, keeping his focus and vision downfield, and finding his tight end Brown. Right here at the bottom of the screen, he's going to work an in route over the middle of the field. Man-to-man coverage, he won inside, and right there I thought he was going to get the football live, but a nice job in the scramble drill, working back the same way that his quarterback was running.
And Ducks trying to get the right personnel on the field for the point after. Matt Wogan, a 7-point game. Extra point is good. Oregon is out of timeouts, but they've got a chance. And who would have thought that just a few moments ago? Not long ago, it was 26-0. Now, 26-20.
Another nice job by Brown. You know, a young guy, only a sophomore. And let's remember, Colt Lyerla, their big playmaking tight end, had quit the team back in October. Left them with John Munn, a true freshman, and Pharaoh Brown, only a sophomore. Doesn't look like a sophomore right in that there, making that kind of play. And all of a sudden, just literally, what was it, 5 minutes ago of game time?
We were talking about best one-loss teams in the country.
Hey,
Command of the Pac-12 North.
Stanford dominating Oregon.
If you're Stanford right now on special teams, you're having a little chat with your hands team right now. You must come up with this football. Maldonado's going to put this thing on the tee funky. It's going to come off his foot funky. It might take a weird bounce like it did last time. You've got to secure this ball.
Well,
what is that right there?
I don't know, but it's effective, dude. Who cares?
Pancake technique.
Well, it's gone right to Jeff Trojan, number 18. He caught one, the other one he couldn't corral. They're lined up the same way. I think Jeff's going to have another opportunity.
Maldonado's been the GOAT a lot. Can he be the hero?
Maldonado takes the hop, and right on cue, Jeff Trojan makes the catch. That Trojan may keep that football for good. He's going to keep the first one, too.
Hold on. Yeah. See, he's waving the ref off. No, you're good. You're good.
You're not getting it back.
I got a spot on my mantle for this.
He just put it in the pads by the sidelines over here, but look at the kick.
You just never know when it's going to skip. That's the hardest part about that. It could dribble all the way to your feet. It could skip way out ahead of you. You have to have amazing eye-hand coordination to make that play, especially knowing you got defenders bearing down on you like this.
You got to be patient, too.
And also knowing that you can, not only that, you can salt the game away. Yeah. Make the catch, and barring complete disaster in the last 2-10, Cardinal thinking they can get out of here with a win. Anthony Wilkerson.
Ball
stopped in the back.
Security.
Ball security
right now if you're Stanford running the football.
Well, the fourth quarter, just when you thought Stanford was waltzing to victory, Marcus Mariota threw a touchdown pass that seemed like window dressing until the blocked field goal returned by Rodney Hardrick for the touchdown. Then the Ducks came up with an onside kick that Trojan couldn't corral, scored again, didn't get the last onside kick. 26-20 now with just over 90 seconds to play, second down and 11. Oregon needs to knock the ball free any way they can. Hogan's going to run with it. He's going to stay in bounds and slide. Clock continues to roll.
Like the play call, but more importantly, the awareness of Hogan to make sure no matter what you do, you slide, get down. Broken knee brace and all, it doesn't matter.
They can get him another one of those. Yeah. So 3rd and 8. Stanford ought to be able to run the clock out. They're going to be right on the edge. No practical way for the Ducks to get their hands on it again as long as they take this clock all the way down, the play clock. And they do, down to 40 on the ground. Wilkerson can just go to the ground if he wants. 35 seconds, and that's going to be the last snap of the game. And Stanford, for the second straight year, hands Oregon its first loss of the season. And the reigning Pac-12 champions now have the inside track to the conference championship game in what was a tough night for Marcus Mariota as Mark Helfrich suffers his first loss as a head coach, and David Shaw and the Cardinal do it to the Ducks again.
They talk about embracing these opportunities, these big games, and every time they win one, the next one gets bigger. This football team does not shy away from the competition. No one gave them a shot tonight.
This bastion of academia is now turning in for the moment, the epicenter of college football, and there is some delirium as their fellow students storm onto the field in celebration of Stanford's victories. We go down to Samantha Ponder.
Coach, congratulations on the win, but first I want to know what it was like like for you mentally and emotionally over those last 5 minutes?
I don't know if I can say it on national TV, but I'm too good to hold him out for that long. We knew there was going to be a rush. I didn't think it was. Jeff Trojan did a great job that last time getting that deal, and then Anthony Wilkerson coming in and chewing up clock, and then ending the game on the field.
Speaking of rush, Tyler Gaffney tonight, incredible, set a single game record for rushing attempts. How would you describe the effort you got from him tonight?
That's what people said you should be doing. That was it. It was beautiful. The guys up front played extremely well. We were really physical. We took our 2- and 3-yard chunks, but ended up being 7- and 8-yard chunks later in the game, and that's just how we play.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, Sam.
Sam, 45 carries, a school record for Tyler Gaffney tonight. As you see Kevin Hogan celebrating time for tonight's Wrangler 5-star player of the game. Is there really any doubt? Gaffney, 157 yards on those 45 carries. He just continued to bludgeon away at the Oregon defense. The former minor league baseball player who didn't play for the Cardinal, couldn't quite shake that football itch, comes back and has a glorious moment tonight. Stanford controlled the ball for more than 42 and a half minutes, and they come out with a 26-20 victory against Oregon. We're going to come right back to Stanford in a matter of moments on SportsCenter. The Cardinal knocking the Ducks from the ranks of the unbeaten. Only 6 undefeated teams left in college football. We'll be on SportsCenter, which starts in 15 seconds. Stanford knocks Oregon from the ranks of the unbeaten, and then there were 6 undefeated teams. As for the second straight year, the Ducks can't handle the physical nature of the Cardinal attack. Tyler Gaffney, a virtuoso performance, 45 carries, 157 yards as Stanford built a 26-0 lead and held on. And what a performance by Gaffney, Jesse.
I really think that Stanford's best defense tonight was their offense and their ability to stay on the field, and it was running the football behind Tyler Gaffney. They found ways to get him touches, and his physical style of running, I think, really took over. A lot of those body blows we talk about, that it happens early in games with the Stanford offense, those 1- and 2- and 3-yard gains, those turned into bigger chunk plays late. Guys, they held the football for 42 and a half minutes. Marcus Mariota was never on the field. Oregon couldn't score.
Yeah, his Heisman candidacy took a huge hit, probably ended the run. You know, when you look at this game right now, the common school of thought was that everything had to go just right for Stanford. Well, some things did go their way, but they seemed to be the tougher team. One of the reasons, Shane Scove, who's with Heather Cox.
Grace, thanks so much. What an amazing defensive performance, Shane. It seemed like you guys took the field, had your foot on the pedal, and never looked back. Describe the mentality that this team took the field with.
That we fight. I mean, we take pride in playing all 3 phases incredibly well with tremendous effort, and we have the talent on this team to beat anybody in the country. So, I mean, that's our standard. We have the highest standard for ourselves, so we expect nothing less than excellence.
And the defense wasn't at full strength tonight. Ben Gardner, you were without, in fact, the number 49 on your arm. How much was this for him?
Oh, totally. I mean, a lot of these guys, we got a senior laden team, so I mean, there's a lot of old guys, 50-year veterans, and we've been through so much together. I mean, so just we came out here fighting for him, and for the rest of the season, I mean, it's got to be collective effort, and we've got him on our minds at all times.
Last year, when you guys beat Oregon in Eugene, a lot of people said you created the blueprint for how to stop this Oregon offense, but people thought it might have been an aberration. How have you done it 2 years in a row?
Talent and effort. People want to sleep on us, that's fine. This defense comes to play, and it doesn't matter what anybody else says. It's about the 11 guys who are on the field, and that's how we play every single time. So it's about us, not what everybody else thinks.
Shane, enjoy this victory. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Heather, Shane, thank you. The celebration is underway here at Stanford as the students storm down onto the field to celebrate with their team. They're in the inside track in the Pac-12 North, and Scove in that defense has just throttled Oregon 2 years in a row.
And he mentioned effort, and you saw him all over the field tonight, running plays down from the inside out. Those are fast Oregon plays that you're used to seeing go a long way. And how about the play of the game inside the 5-yard line, runs DeAnthony Thomas down with a tomahawk, rips the ball away from DeAnthony. DeAnthony had 2 hands, he had 1 hand on it, got it away, made plays. Those early red zone stops by the Stanford defense and gave the offense the ball back. 96-yard drives here, 96-yard drives there, kill the clock, own the possession. Defense played great.
It's incredible how they're able to limit the explosive plays from Oregon's offense. Nobody can do it quite as well as Stanford can. And again, they control the running game with their front seven. Oregon only had 61 rushing yards in this game. They came in averaging 323, second best in the country, and continually got pressure on Marcus Mariota with 4 or 5 guys. Not a lot of people can do it. They've got the personnel. They've got the experience.
They barely got over 300 yards.
Yeah.
And most of it was in mop-up.
Yeah, and that's half of what they've been averaging. They put 20 points on the board, but one of the touchdowns, a result of a blocked field goal that was returned for a score. They've wanted Stanford the last couple of years, and there was some talk that from the Oregon camp during the week, they wanted to give Stanford credit for winning last year, but they kept saying, we didn't play our game. We didn't play as hard as we normally did. They just simply can't play as hard as this particular Stanford team, it seems.
Stanford has the equation to stop Oregon. Physical play on offense, running the football, keeping the ball away from their offense, and defensively shutting down the run, which is still what this Oregon Ducks offense is predicated upon. They've got the formula. Not a lot of people have the pieces, but they've got them. You can say what you want about the style of offense and defense they play, but it works.
We opened the game tonight talking about both teams trying to be themselves. Kevin Hogan wasn't flashy. He made every big-time play, run, throw just when they needed it, and he led his team to victory, and he's with Heather Cox.
Reese, thanks so much, Kevin. Congratulations. Before the game, your coach told me that you are more calm than your predecessor, Andrew Luck. How did that demeanor help you under so much pressure tonight?
I just try and go out and I've been playing football my whole life. There's no reason to, get nervous, anything like this. It was a big game, but
It's been amazing. We've lost some audio, but Kevin, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lose a little audio, that's no problem. Kevin Hogan probably find a way to fix the audio.
He doesn't lose much.
Not
He's got
much
one
at
loss.
all. One loss, only that game against Utah. His only loss as a starting quarterback, and he is now 2-0 against the Oregon Ducks. Stanford, a 26-20 victor, and the Cardinal in control in the Pac-12 North and perhaps on their way back to the Rose Bowl.